Hello and welcome. Welcome to another episode of B Sharp and C. What should we B Sharp and C? We need to B Sharp and C. The way to find music is not the radio. And it is not just turning on YouTube and saying rock and roll and then walking away and hoping that at some point a good new artist comes on. That, my friend, probably won't happen on its own. Why? Why won't that happen? Because of money. Yes, because of money. Because the people who are paying for, whether it's Facebook promotion, YouTube promotion, whatever the case may be, these are the ones that YouTube is going to throw at you, unless you approach it differently. Let's talk about this. We live in an age where people who like rock and roll, blues, country, old hip hop, folk, right? Music that had some great instrumentation in the background or great instrumentation, period. Great musicality. Music that had music. Music that focused on vocal melodies. See, people today are complaining that we can't find that on the radio. Well, I have some news for you. That is not going to go on the radio. That is only going to get worse and has gotten worse as the years have gone by. I remember when I got back from Brazil, it was 2014, okay, 7 years ago. I had been living in Brazil for a couple of years. I get back from Brazil, and my wife and I put on the radio, and we were amazed at some of the songs that we found. But we probably found like 4 or 5 new artists. And these artists had a hit that was insanely commercialized, and that was it. That was it. And then those songs got repeated on the radio, along with the other songs that get repeated on the radio. Let's face it, everybody. These radio hosts, these DJs, don't want to lose their audience, because when they lose their audience, guess what else they lose? Their sponsors. And when they lose their sponsors, guess what else they lose? Money. Money will drive what gets thrown in your face unless I learn how to control it. I have a theory, okay? I've been asking people questions. I've been looking around. I've been doing research. I have a theory. It's been working for me for probably maybe 3 or 4 years. I have discovered a lot of excellent artists. It's just important for us to understand the life course of a song. The life course of good music doesn't necessarily end on your radio so that you can listen to it on the way to the hairdresser. Do you want to know where a lot of good songs end up? Bones. Yeah. Longmire. Breaking Bad. The Umbrella Academy. Cobra Kai. Grey's Anatomy. Shameless. The Boys. I can go on until I'm blue in the face. Television. I discovered Shane Alexander, an excellent songwriter, an absolute amazing songwriter. He does folk music. He's got an amazing voice. I discovered him through Bones. Yep, I discovered Carrie Kimmel through Cobra Kai. How many musicians got their career started because their songs were featured in the show Grey's Anatomy? What do? How do we tap into this resource? It's very simple. All of us are experiencing the pandemic, and if you're like any other average human in the Western Hemisphere, you're binge watching TV 97 hours a day. The list of shows just goes on and on. Now, these shows will usually play music that is geared towards the type of viewer. Like the show Nashville more than likely would feature music that someone who watches that show would like. But not always. That's the kicker. Not always. That rule can be broken, and often is, forcing the listener to listen to a song, maybe by a new artist, that they wouldn't have usually searched out. And the beautiful thing is, you're going to hear, ready? The best part of the song. When these songs get used for TV shows, I mean, it depends on what you call it. I was asked once to use one of my songs for a TV show out of Britain. I turned it down. They wanted me to pay for the edit, okay? But they were calling it sting edits. I don't know what the real word is, but you take portions of the song that you think are the best part, and you break it down into 15 to 20-second segments, right? That's what gets featured. So when you watch a show and you hear a song, the beautiful thing is, if it's a bad song, it won't last long. It's over in 30 seconds at tops. If it's a good song, nice. I like it. Who is this artist? And, if it's a song that you don't like, you're still doing something that you like, which is watching the show. It's a perfect way to get introduced to all forms of music that is new. And trust me, songs that are being featured in today's shows are not necessarily scores. It's not it's not Hans Zimmer sitting there creating a song just for the TV show. No, it's a list of songs that are chosen by new artists and featured on these television shows or streaming shows nowadays. So you can also get music that is older but still very significant. Do you have any idea how many times Nina Simone is featured in today's television? It's off the charts. And the beautiful thing is, people listen to Nina Simone when she's featured in a TV show and they say, wow, I like this song. They don't even know who it is. They think it's a new artist because she was actually quite ahead of her time with her vocal style, and the way she played piano actually was quite amazing. And it sounded it sounds like contemporary piano almost. She was just amazing, Nina Simone. I should do an episode about her like I did about Louis Armstrong. But anywho, okay, Nina Simone, jazz, blues, folk, R&B, gospel. She's all that wrapped into one. She's in every TV show. You just don't know it. Why don't you know it? Because you're not opening up your cell phone and hitting Shazam. Maybe you are, and if you are, congratulations, you figured out probably the biggest secret in the music world. This is the secret. It's really not hard. Have your phone by your side. Have the music identifying app open and ready on your phone. You're watching Bones, you're watching Breaking Bad, you're watching any show out there, and you hear a song that you like. You open the app, you hit search, and you just let it go. It will save the song to the search history. Do that for a couple of weeks. Then go to YouTube a couple of weeks later and listen to every song that you searched. Do not use a VPN. Do not use incognito mode. Use your YouTube account. Go in to Spotify. Use your Spotify account. Make a playlist of songs that you only found watching television. And then Spotify will use its algorithm. YouTube will use its algorithm and begin to feature songs for you. Because you've flooded their services with all the songs that you've searched out. Yes, you're still going to get crap that someone paid $2,000 a month to promote. And you know what? If they're spending that much a month, it's a darn shame if it doesn't show up on someone's computer somewhere. But what I'm trying to say is we can use this technology to our advantage. Now, it could be Shazam, SoundHound. I don't care. Any music identifying app, get it ready. They all should have a search history. When you hear a song you like, search out the song and continue watching the show. You don't even have to see who the artist is at that moment. Let it just drop to your history. Later, at your leisure, you go and you take the horse by the reins, baby. It's that simple. It really is. We can use this technology to help us find the music that technology itself is basically hidden from us. It's actually quite the conundrum. It's kind of funny. Because of technology, music is almost impossible to find. And because of the way that people are paying for promotion, music is almost impossible to find. But we can use technology to our benefit. It's out there. The music is out there. It's just hidden behind a wall of ones and zeros. And you, yes, you have the ability to find it by using those ones and zeros a little bit at a time and opening holes into that wall to see the new, beautiful, up-and-coming artists that still exist in today's world. It's interesting, I recently did an episode of B Sharp and C about how it's not necessarily rock that's dying, but all organic music is suffering. And that is true, and I stand by that opinion. All organic music is suffering today. Some people have to weed through more than others, but pretty much everyone that wants to get music that has substance has to do a little bit extra research. Everyone who doesn't just accept what the Billboard Hot 100 is vomiting out at them has to do a little bit more research. But you know what? It's worth it. Something else to keep in mind. Many people listen to music so they can be motivated. For a lot of reasons. Some people don't listen to music just so they, because they like it as an art form. Sometimes they want to put their fist through a wall, and listening to something motivating and driving helps them blow off steam so they don't put their fist through the wall. But all genres, yes, all genres are being used for television shows. Why? Why is TV such a good avenue to take? TV shows, streaming shows, and it's only going to increase because acting is nothing. Dramatic moments are nothing without music to emphasize the emotion. Music will always be there to bring out the emotion of a dramatic scene. And if we like the song, we hit search, we put the phone back down by our side, and we continue watching the scene, the show. So my big suggestion for 2021, you want to discover music that isn't just fluff and candy? Leave the radio alone. Get Shazam, SoundHound, whatever app ready, and do what 111% of society is doing during this pandemic. Binge watch your favorite shows. And every time you hear a song that pleases you, hit search. And that's it. It's zero effort. You don't even miss the show. Now, I'm not saying this is the only way to find new music, but to me, it has been the best way to find new. Since I got back from Brazil and I was really on this music kick, trying to figure out nice ways to find good songs, where do I find them, who do I listen to, what radio station, what words do I put in the Google search, There are other ways to search for music. You can do that. For instance, literally Googling new art, like go to Google and Google hot new artists. Yes, you will have to do a lot of sifting because Google accepts payment from people who try to get their stuff thrown in your face first. So you could have someone who literally produces junk for music, but they're going to come up first because they're paying tons of money for Google to do that. So these searches through Google and other search engines will put people who pay the most ahead of others. So there is still some work to do on your part once you do these Google searches. You can even Google best new indie artists, and you'll find some indie artists, but trust me, you're going to get popular artists who are being sponsored and who are being promoted, and the money, unfortunately, at that time does speak a little bit louder. Some people go to Spotify. I know a lot of people, they go to Spotify, they create a playlist that favors their taste. Or instead of creating a playlist, they find a playlist that favors their taste. There's a little bit of danger in that. If someone creates a playlist and they're a curator to this gigantic playlist that tons of people are following, they might get offers. People might actually say, I'll give you $30 if you put me in your playlist. I've actually done that. I paid to have one of my songs put in a playlist, okay? And if anyone out there knows my music, 92% of it is nothing that you want to go to the gym and listen to while you work out. It's very mellow. I tend to write mellow music. My song that I paid someone for to promote, I think I gave like $50 and they were going to put it on like 5 playlists, okay? My song ended up on, ready? Songs to Work Out To. That was the name of the playlist. Songs to Work Out To. And then comes my song. And I'm like, I write my music and I don't listen to it while I exercise. It's just not motivating in that way. So there is some danger in just finding playlists. They're not always going to be true to their title. But that is a way to find good music. You can find good music by finding a playlist with a specific title. Another good way to do it, word of mouth. Probably the second best way. Ask a friend who has a similar taste as you, who have you been listening to lately? You'll be amazed how many of your close friends have found excellent artists that they listen to, but they just don't talk about. They've never thought to tell you that they found this new artist. They're not like me, a big mouth who posts stuff all over the place. So I really don't know the exact answer, or even if there is one, as to why it is so hard to find good music these days. But people who are fans of all genres say the same thing. They don't really like the mainstream stuff that is playing on the radio nowadays. Isn't that weird? Just stop and ponder on that for a second. Most people I talk to do not like the mainstream stuff that's being thrown at them. Then how the heck is it mainstream? I think we all know the answer to that. So that, my friends, is the topic for another episode of B Sharp and C. I won't get into that rant right now, and I got to figure out how I'm going to rant about that because it's been ranted about 1,007 times. But at any rate, this is Artie, your host of B Sharp and C. We should B Sharp and C streaming services and television shows if we want to find the new up-and-coming artists of today.
Took a turn to the throes of the past, only hoping to learn that these woes won't last. But now that I'm free, I've got to dream. A search for which version is best. But now that I'm free, I've got to dream. The sky of got to dream.